In this video, we're going to fix some of the things about our discussions. There's actually quite a long list, but each of them will be pretty quick. So let's start by creating a grade item for the Introduce Yourself discussion, which is worth 5 points. So I'm going to go to Grades, and under Manage Grades, there's a New item, and we're going to make all of these be numeric. So I want to create an Introduce Yourself grade item, and I'm going to give it a short name because when you export these things, you're going to get an Excel spreadsheet, and if you have just a long name, then it's really difficult to manage in Excel. So I'm just going to say introduce disc as the name, and fill in the maximum number of points, 5 points, and then I can save and close. So now I have a new Introduce Yourself grade item, which is worth 5 points, and it hasn't been linked to any of the learning activities or assessments yet, so I have to do that as well. But before I do that, I'm going to reorder these a little bit because I really want these to be either grouped by the type of assessment, so maybe have all the discussions together and have all the labs together and so on, quizzes, or just in the sequence that the student is going to be viewing them. So this order will affect the order that they're listed when the student goes to the Grades tab. So under More Actions, there's Reorder. And for now, let's just order them in the order that the student will complete them. So Introduce Yourself is going to be the first thing after the student completes the intro quiz. So we don't have a grade item for the intro quiz yet. We haven't added that. So let's just put this at the top as the first item. And then there's a copyright quiz. Write the letter about copyright resources. This is Module 1. And then in Module 2, there's the discussion and the document. So they actually view the discussion before the document. So let's go ahead and save these changes and then change the order for the discussion as well. So we'll make the discussion be number 4 now and save. So now this is a good order because it's the order that the student will perform the activities in the course. And let's go to the next one. So now we're going to link the Introduce Yourself discussion to the gradebook. So we created this grade item. Let's link it to the discussion. I'm going to go to the Discussions tab, and here's Introduce Yourself. And I'm going to edit the topic. And there's an Assessment tab where I can assign a grade item. So if I click on this drop-down menu, the only ones that you're going to see are the grade items that haven't already been linked. So if you have a grade item, for example, we have a grade item for the new discussion, but that's already been linked to that discussion. So that doesn't show up in the list here because you can only associate a grade item with one activity. So I'm just going to select Introduce Yourself, and I'm going to repeat the maximum number of points here, and I'm going to save and close. Now if I go back to the gradebook and go to Manage Grades, I can see that the Introduce Yourself discussion has an association to the discussion. I can also see in the gradebook that there's an intro disc right up front, and the rest of the items have been ordered in the correct order. And if I look at the Discussions tab, I see that there's this little ruler check mark, which means that this thing is linked to an item in the gradebook and can be assessed. So now let's look at the release dates for new. And we already see that the dates are correct because we fixed that when we adjusted the dates before. So we can move on. But let's look at the release dates for the Copyright Scenarios activity. And there are no release dates yet. So Copyright Scenarios activity is going to happen during the second week of the class. So let's go ahead and edit the topic. And if we scroll down, we see availability on the properties. So we're going to make this be visible, and we're going to have a start date, which is going to be the second week of class, which is May 12th. And we're going to turn this on at midnight, 12 o'clock a.m. And this is going to run until the last day of class, which is May 19th at 11:59 p.m. And we're going to display this in the calendar so that it shows up in the calendar widget. And then we're just going to save and close. Now if we look at the copyright scenarios activity, we see that it's available during the second week of the class. So we're going to require the student to post a message before the student can view the discussion. And this is an option that you might want to use. So for example, under New, under the Properties page, you'll notice that there's an option which is currently checked. A user must compose a message before participating in the topic. So basically, when they go to the discussion board, if they haven't posted yet, they won't see any of the discussion. But the minute they compose a message and post it to the discussion board, the rest of the posts on that discussion board will be revealed. So this is a good way if you have an assessment associated with a discussion board, it's a good way to require the students to actually compose a thoughtful response to the discussion board before they can see the answers that other students have posted. So we've already done that for the new activity. Let's take a look at the other activity. So we're going to edit this topic. And we see that this one hasn't been checked yet. So the way this works is anytime a student goes to the discussion board, they'll immediately see all the postings on that discussion. So let's go ahead and turn this one on too, and save and close. And the last thing we want to do is link the Module 2 discussion to the gradebook. So we already have a grade item for that, but we haven't associated it with this discussion. So let's go ahead and do that now. Under Assessment, once again, you'll see grade items. And here we want to link it to the copyright scenarios discussion. And we'll put the score in, which I actually don't remember the score, so I'm going to right-click on Grade, Open, and New Tab, and look at the grade book. So we see that the scenarios discussion is worth 10 points. So let's go ahead and specify 10 points here as well. And that's it for our discussions.